Test 1, test 2, make sure we're coming through loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Perfect. Alrighty. Hello everyone. Welcome to NACS Racing. I'm your host, Sidonian Muse, tonight for the third race of our first season of NACS. We're going to be racing in Azerbaijan for the Baku City Street Circuit. And we got 8 drivers here tonight, it looks like. We're missing the 2 guys in the Haas and the McLarens, but that's okay. We got the 2 Red Bulls of Pete Nufi and Smoke, aka Black Stappen. We got the 2 Aston Martins of Vodka Victory and Great Ace, who are currently leading the drivers and the constructors at the moment. We have the 2 Ferraris of Rilio and Chris. And we have Trey, aka Druply, in the Mercedes and Slingshot in the Alfa Romeo. So, Baku is a very tough track, very easy to hit a wall and ruin your whole race. So, this is going to be a battle of attrition for these guys. Just trying to get to the end, just trying to cross the line, because if they get to the end, they're guaranteed points for their team. So, we'll see some guys probably really push it here in the qualifying, but in the race, maybe not as much. Because they want to survive, they want to get to the end and at least finish the race. Because otherwise, it could end very poorly for them. And we might see a safety car here tonight. And there might be a DNF or 2. We will see who gets unlucky here tonight in Azerbaijan. But we're going to have a short qualifying before the full race. That will decide the grid for the race, as always. Yeah, let's do this. We're just waiting for the guys to load in. But it says migrating hosts. Looks like Pete, who is the host of the lobby, has lagged out, though, unfortunately. So he's probably going to need an invite back, or we're going to have to start a new lobby. Because there's always these things happen sometimes, unfortunately. But it's going to be an 18-minute short qualifying session. That's how long the guys are going to have to set times. Okay, and there we go. I think we got Pete. We got Pete coming back in there now. Looks like we got 2 cars. Just have to make sure we got Pete coming back into the lobby since he disconnected that time. That great Newfie internet. But here we go. We have the 2 Aston Martins here, a Vodka Victory and Great Ace. Both heading out here now, trying to get a banker lap in, just get a time on the board, at least get something going here. Since this track, not only is it one of the tougher tracks on the calendar, but it's also one of the longer ones, so because of that, if something goes wrong, it's going to take you even longer to get back to the pits, to get around again, and get another hot lap going, so could be a little rough here. Both these guys are also still very close to each other. Is Great Ace going to let Vodka go? I think he is. I think he's going to let Vodka go and get spaced out a bit, so they'll be far enough away from each other when they start their hot laps, it looks like. So that's good. That's very good, very good. Oh, we already got some problems, though, in Sector 1. Looks like Chris and the Ferrari are already locking up a little bit there. And now Druply has retired from the qualifying. What is going on tonight in this qualifying? in this lobby. Drupally just already had to retire from the qualifying. Spectating from Chris's perspective that time, I saw that he was in the wall. I saw that Drupally was in the wall that time. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he if something happened to his wheel disconnected, or if he lost control there. But that time, Drupally just completely... Drupally has already retired from the qualifying session. So that is going to be it for Drupally. He's going to be starting the race from the very back, I guess. Very unfortunate, but we saw there that time he was in the wall, so I'm guessing it was his own fault there. Looks like he just took himself out of the qualifying, unfortunately, so that's going to be rough. He's going to have to start from the back and work his way up through the pack, I'm afraid. Here we go. We're on board Vodka Victory now. He's currently setting his first time of the qualifying. Trying to get a solid time in here. But here we go. Everyone except for Rilio is currently out on track. Vodka is coming around to the final straightaway here now to set the first time of the qualifying session. He's going to be the first person to get time on the board. And Vodka Victory is going to cross the line with a 1:43.4 to start us off tonight. So he's going to hold the top time for now, but we'll see who else is coming around here. Chris is not on a hot lap yet. It looks like there's Vodka's teammate, Great Ace, at a 1:49, so he gets a time on the board at least, even though it's not a fast one. Let's see who else is flying right now. You see Pete the Newfie coming around the final sector here now. Just behind Alfa Romeo. Looks like Pete is going to get a time on the board here as well. Same thing, Slingshot hasn't really been using ERS though, so Pete is definitely doing a hot lap here. This is the end of his hot lap. We're going to see what time he can get here. Pete the Newfie in the Red Bull crosses the line with a 1:45.4. That's going to put him in second for now, but that's not great. Actually third, because now Chris jumps to the top of the timesheet with a 1:42.4. Looks like Chris did decide to use the ERS there at the end after. And Chris jumps to the top of the timesheet with a time that's a full second faster than Vodka Victory in the Aston Martin. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. His teammate Rilio still in the pits. But we're on board with Smoke here now, who's crossing the line as well. Pete's teammate, Black Stappen, in the Red Bull with a 1:44.2. That's actually going to put him ahead of his teammate over a full second faster than Pete the Newfie. Good stuff to Smoke. Wicked time for him there. Puts him up into third for now. The two Red Bulls third and fourth on the timesheet. 11 minutes to go in the qualifying session. Seeing here now, looks like Great Ace is just going back into the pits in the Aston Martin. Slingshot is currently on a hot now, though. He's using his ERS in the Alfa Romeo, coming to the final straightaway here now. He is flying. And we're going to see what time Slingshot can get in the Alfa Romeo. Everyone will at least be starting ahead of Drupally, since Drupally is unfortunately already out of the qualifying due to what happened to him in the first sector. But Slingshot's going to cross the line with a 1:45.9. That's going to move him up ahead of Great Ace. Half a second slower than Pete. Not bad. Good stuff to Slingshot. Rilio still, with 10 minutes left in the qualifying, still yet to come out of the pits. But if he can post any time, he'll at least start ahead of Druply in the Mercedes. Here we go. Pete the Newfie currently up a second on his previous time here now, though. But he did run out of ERS, though, I'm afraid. Wicked lap from Pete, but he ran out of ERS. But still, he's going to cross the line with a 143.3, which is going to move him up to second. Wait, hold on. That was smoke. Sorry, I got the Red Bulls all confused. Slightly faster than Vodka. But he managed to do it. But he did run out of ERS, because that actually would have been an even better lap time there. But he ran out of ERS. But Vodka snipes him right back with a way faster time, a 142.7. Amazing work there from Vodka Victory. Only a couple tenths off of Chris's time now. Very close to Chris now. Only a couple tenths off. Wicked stuff from Vodka Victory in the Aston Martin. He's always been solid here, to my knowledge, at this track. So, good stuff to him. We're going to see here now, Rilio still is now out on an outlap, so he's going to try to get a time on the board so he can at least start ahead of Druply, who wasn't able to get a time in. Crazy enough, Druply, unfortunately, like I said, to me it looked like he had some sort of issue there in the first sector. Don't know if it was a technical failure or if it was his own doing, but regardless, he's going to be starting from the back for the full race. No one currently up on their times at the moment. We're going to see here now Smoke going back into the pits to get another set of softs. Try again in the second half of the qualifying session. Same thing with Vodka Victory, it looks like. Yes, he is. He's going into the pits as well. So we're actually going to hop on with Rilio here now, who is going to start his first hot lap of the qualifying to try to get a time on the board. Here we go. He does have an Aston Martin of Great Ace behind him, who I think may also be on a hot lap right now. But again, there's not too much ERS to use at this part of the track anyway. Great Ace actually setting a purple Sector 1 there according to the game. So good stuff to him. Just behind Rilio. Hopefully Rilio doesn't hold him up at all. And these two are able to stay spaced out enough to where they can both get their laps in. So otherwise this could get really dicey. We're going to hold on with Great Ace and see how this looks from his perspective, since he's the one in the back. So here we go. The Ferrari and the Aston Martin, coming up to the final sector here now. Here we go. Going to the final sector. Didn't look too bad. Both of them should still get solid times on here. So obviously Great Ace there goes with the better exit there on that final corner than Rilio, so he'll be able to pull ahead to post his time. Especially since he had DRS. That actually kind of helped Great Ace. Rilio kind of helping Great Ace there. Great Ace posted 147.8. Huge improvement to his time, but still not enough to get him up any positions. Rilio posts the 149. So that's going to he's at least going to start the race ahead of Druply. He's going to start in 7th at the bare minimum. And now Chris still unable to improve his time, but he's still holding provisional pole at the moment with 142.4, just a couple tenths faster than Vodka Victory. Pete the Newfie, though, crosses the line, 143.8, but still several tenths off of his teammate. And nowhere near the time of Vodka Victory and Chris. But Pete the Newfie, reversing on track, almost hits into the wall there. Very dangerous. Managed to catch himself there. Fortunately, because that could have been really bad for the Red Bull driver. But yellow flag in Sector 1. Pete's lost it again. He's missed his braking point there again. What is going on, Pete the Newfie? Tonight, just twice in a row there, he almost hit into a wall. He's getting out-qualified by his teammate tonight as well. But let's see, Vodka Victory currently up 7/10 on his time. This could be a great lap for Vodka Victory. This could be a chance for him to sneak pole position away from Chris in the Ferrari. Purple Sector 1 for Vodka. He's on a whirler of a lap right now, but it's all going to come down to this. You can lose a lot of time here if you're not careful. This is a very dangerous part of the section here with the castle section. Can Vodka Victory keep it together and take pole position away from Chris? Let's find out. Goes through the castle. No problemo. Here we go. Vodka Victory coming up to the final sector now. It's very lucky not to hit that pole. Almost loses control of the car there. Vodka Victory sliding a little bit there. Unfortunately, that might ruin his lap. But we'll see. Is he going to use the... No, he took that exit really slow. I think... Unfortunately, I think that might have ruined Vodka Victory's chance at pole there. Yeah, he's not using ERS. Unfortunately, I think that ruined Vodka Victory's chances at pole position. But never mind, he is using ERS here now. He's still going, but he's too far back. Yeah, he's not going to be able to improve. But he's going to start a new hot lap right now. He's going to try to go again immediately. But that's so unfortunate for him. He was on an amazing lap there. He had a brilliant Sector 1. Was up like so many tenths on his previous best. Definitely could have improved over Chris's time, but unfortunately he slid going down the hill there. And that cost him. Chris now in the Ferrari also trying to see if he can set an even faster time. Vodka Victory sliding a little bit there once again. Coming around that corner. And Vodka goes way wide off track there. Pulls off. Pulls off the track. Oh no, and everything... It looks like that's going to be it for Vodka Victory's pole chances here tonight, I'm afraid. He's had to go completely off track into the runoff. Pete still in the pits, but Chris and Smoke currently out on hot laps, it looks like. Chris now coming through with a purple Sector 1. Unfortunate for Vodka Victory. And he just had to waste all that time in that turning around carefully in that runoff as well. With only 2 minutes left of the qualifying, I think that might be it for Vodka Victory. He might get one more chance, but it's a shame. He really had a chance for pole here, but everything just went wrong there near the end. Chris coming around here now, trying to post an even faster time. Plus the purple Sector 2 as well, currently over a second up at his time. Oh my god, is Chris about to get a 141 here at Baku in the Ferrari? He is flying right now. He is like Charles Leclerc in this Ferrari. Absolutely flying. And there he goes. Oh my goodness. Chris improves his pole position lap time to a 141.1. Absolute insanity. This man is crazy. A second and a half faster than Vodka Victory in second. Absolute whirler of a qualifying lap. Good stuff to Chris. It looks like he's going to safely secure pole position here. Vodka Victory is going to have like one more opportunity here to try to fight him for it. So we'll see. Pete the Newfie is currently on an out lap, whereas Pete the Newfie is gonna have one more chance to improve his time as well if he wants to start ahead of his teammate. But here we go, Vodka Victory starting his final qualifying lap here. It's going to be his final attempt to improve his time. Here he goes. Let's see how his time looks coming out of Sector 1 here now. In just a moment, we'll see. He's about even with his Sector 1, so unfortunately, his Sector 1 not as good as it was in that other lap he did when he was on fresher softs. Not as good as that other Sector 1, I'm afraid. And we're coming to the end of the qualifying here now. Both Red Bulls out trying to improve as well. Slingshot in the Alfa Romeo crosses the line, but not really able to improve. So it looks like Slingshot will be starting the race in 5th, unless Great Ace, is on a big improvement lap here, though. Great Ace, he is on a huge improvement now. Can Great Ace snipe the position away from Slingshot? Let's see. He's coming up here now. He's going to cross the line. Great Ace crosses the line, and he does with the 144.8. He snipes the position away from Slingshot. He's going to start the race in 5th ahead of Sling, or alongside Sling, I should say. Good stuff to Great Ace. Awesome final lap there. There was also a final improvement there for Smoke. He crossed the line with a 143.1. 7/10 ahead of Pete. Let's see, Pete is going to cross the line here now, though, with a 143.4, but it is not going to be enough. Smoke improved enough so that he would start ahead of his teammate. So Black Stappen will be starting 3rd ahead of his teammate, Pete the Newfie. So congratulations to Chris in the Ferrari, who's going to be starting the race from pole position. With crazy one-lap pace here at Baku. Going to be starting on the front row with Vodka Victory. And on the second row, we're going to have the 2 Red Bulls of Black Stappen and Pete the Newfie going at each other. Will the Red Bulls be able to keep it clean? We'll have to wait and find out. We're also then going to have Great Ace and Slingshot starting 5th and 6th. And then Rilio and Druply starting at the back in 7th and 8th. But regardless, folks, that is going to be it for the qualifying. Before we start our race, we're going to have a quick 5-minute intermission just to give the drivers a chance to prepare themselves for the full race. Get themselves ready before all goes down, because it's going to be pretty crazy, I would say. Because, it doesn't matter how fast your one-lap pace is here at Baku. If you can't keep it out of the walls, you're going to have some problems. And it's fine to do that over a couple laps, but can you do it over a full 20-plus lap race here? We'll have to wait and see after this quick 5-minute intermission. So I'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes time for the full race. And we're back, folks. Here we go. We're going to start things off here now. And it's lights out and away we go here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Chris with a great takeoff here. Trying to survive the attack from the Aston Martin of Vodka Victory. Red Bull of Smoke on the toes of the Aston Martin. Chris trying to get away on the yellows on the faster tire compound compared to Vodka Victory and Black Stappen behind him. But Pete the Newfie is on a faster tire compound than his teammate. So he's going to try to fly by him here going into this corner. And he does successfully. Pete the Newfie moves up into third, but he brakes too late. Way too late of a break there for Pete the Newfie. Drops all the way down to sixth. Huge, huge error. Huge error from the Red Bull driver. Cost him several positions there. My goodness. Completely misses his braking point there going into the corner. Rilio on the softs, Drupally in the back on the hard tires. My goodness. Here we go. Drupally is on the hards. He's trying to catch up to Rilio, but Rilio is on the faster tires. At the back here, Chris getting away. He's about a second half ahead of Vodka Victory at the front as well. Bit of a gap forming between everyone already, crazy enough. We're going to see here, though. Ooh. Looks like Great Ace made a little bit of an error, though. Slingshot is gaining on him now, though. Caution sector free, though. Vodka Victory! What happened to Vodka Victory? Completely ruined his car there. Vodka Victory out of the race. That is a DNF for Vodka Victory on lap 1. That's going to be a lap 1 safety car. What the hell happened there? He was coming around the final corner on the first lap, and I guess he hit the wall or something, because there was debris all over the track. But that is going to be a safety car. Oh my goodness. Which at the moment, that puts Chris in the lead and Smoke in second. My goodness. So just like that. Holy cow. Oh my god. So within one lap, we've already lost a driver tonight. Oh my goodness. Unfortunate for Vodka Victory, he was looking so strong here. He was looking so fast here at Baku. But like I said earlier, it's not about the speed here. It's about the consistency. And unfortunately, it looks like he just he didn't get the right turn on the final corner and just hit the wall. And that was it. At such fast speed coming through there, that was it. He lost it. And that's going to be it for Vodka Victory. So we're already down one man. We're already down one man tonight, down to 7 drivers. Vodka Victory already out of the race. That is going to be it for him. That's going to be a huge blow to him. Huge blow to Vodka and his championship chances for both drivers and constructors. That's going to hurt him severely for obviously for drivers, since he did have the lead going into this race. But also for the constructors. His teammate Great Ace got a lot of weight on his shoulders now to pull the weight for Aston Martin. But looks like the safety car is staying out for another lap. The guys are going to go around again. Most of the guys on the yellows. It's so early. It was a lap 1 safety car, so no one has decided to pit yet because it's still way too early to do that. But wowzers. Okay, so this has now allowed some of these guys to gain a position here. But that is huge. That is absolutely crazy. Did not see that coming in a million years. An incident there. Takes Vodka Victory out of the race on lap 1. Leaving his teammate Great Ace to pick up the pieces for Aston Martin. Going to be inferred on the safety car restart. And Smoke in the Red Bull is going to have a chance to attack Chris in the Ferrari. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens there. I don't think there was any incident there with what happened to Vodka Victory. I think it was all his own doing. That's how it looked to me. It didn't look like there was anyone nearby, so I think it was his own doing that caused that, from what I could see. We just have to wait for the safety car restart now. Most of the guys still going to be on the yellows for the restart. Drupally in the back going to be on the hards. Same thing with Smoke. Rilio on the softs. If this hurts anyone, mostly hurts Rilio. Due to the fact this is going to waste time on his softs. But on the bright side, that is someone out of the race, so that's going to help him, you know, it's impossible for anyone to really finish last now. So we've already had one DNF. Like I said, within the very first lap of the race, we've already had a DNF, and we still have, like, 23, 22 laps to go. So this is what happens at Baku. It can happen to anyone. Someone just gets completely shafted. But the safety car is going to be in this lap, so we are going to restart here now. Smoke in the Red Bull is going to have a go at Chris in the Ferrari. Chris is going to be the one to take us back here now to regular racing pace. And here we go, folks. We are back underway. The race has resumed. The Aston Martin of Great Ace is going for it on the Red Bull of Smoke, aka Black Stappen, though. These three guys all going in here. Slingshot and Pete the Newfie also going at it in the back there. They still hold their positions. Pete the Newfie, though, gets past Slingshot. He's also fighting Great Ace into the corner here as well. I see Pete the Newfie moves up 2 positions there in 2 corners, pulls ahead of both Slingshot and Great Ace. Pete the Newfie now in third, but now Great Ace is on his rear once again. And Smoke takes the lead of the race away from Chris in the Ferrari. Pete still holding third position over Great Ace, though. Here we go. The Ferrari and the Red Bull going side by side there once again. Chris retakes the lead from Smoke. Crazy enough, both these guys still going at it. Both the Red Bulls now in second and third. Both have huge battles on their hands. But Pete and Great Ace, though, have fallen 2 seconds behind Chris and Smoke. But Smoke on the hards, if he keeps it together and manages to keep up with Chris, he is technically, on the longer lasting tire here. So that could help him if Chris's mediums start wearing, but Smoke spins out right in the middle of the track. Loses it, but he manages to let everyone go by as he waits for his chance to recover. But unfortunately, that means that Smoke now has fallen all the way to the back of the grid. Super unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. He was doing so good there. He was fighting Chris for lead of the race. And now he's all the way at the back of the pack. But here we go. Great Ace looking to make the move on Pete the Newfie as Chris takes fastest lap. Great Ace going wheel to wheel here with Pete into the first corner. Oh, huge. Whoa, 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 whoa. Huge contact there between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. Big bang there. I think Great Ace turned right in on Pete there. But they're both okay. They're both still here, no problem. But Great Ace is going to hold second position over Pete now. As it doesn't look like DRS has been re-enabled yet. But there was a bit of contact there between the two of them. Chris now that Smoke is out of the picture, Chris is just flying away now, 5 seconds ahead of the competition. But due to the incidents between Pete and Great Ace, this has allowed Slingshot to now join the party in the Alfa Romeo. Yellow flag in Sector 2, though. Chris has made an error in the Ferrari. Great Ace is now caught right up to the back of him. And so is Pete and Slingshots. Now, Chris made a little bit. I think he locked up or broke a little late there. So Chris's 5-second gap he had has now been completely lost. Everyone has caught back up to him. Rilio currently in 5th in the Ferrari, ahead of Druply and Smoke, who are both on the hard tires. But like I said, that is so unfortunate for Smoke in the Red Bull. He was fighting Chris for the lead of the race, and now he's completely lost it. Completely lost it. And now he's all the way at the back, and he's going to have to try to undercut people in the pits and try to snipe them if he wants to recover those positions for his team. But here we go. Great Ace goes wheel to wheel with the Ferrari of Chris, going free wide here on Baku with Pete the Newfie in the Red Bull. All three of these guys going into the corner. Pete has to let off, though, to avoid any incidents. Smoke takes fastest lap from Chris, 148.5, so he is flying at the back. He is saving time over the people ahead of him. So Smoke is going to try to recover. Yellow flag in Sector 1, though. There's been an incident. Druply has lost it, and so has Rilio in the Ferrari. Not sure what happened there. Not sure if they both locked up or something. But, or if they made contact or what. But both Druply and Rilio now have fallen all the way to the back of the grid. So that's going to put Rilio at the back now. Druply just ahead of him. So both of them are now 6 seconds behind everyone else. Smoke now in 5th, but still 8 seconds behind the top runners. Chris still holding the lead of the race. But Great Ace, Pete, and Slingshot not too far behind. Not too far behind at all. Crazy stuff. Another incident there with Druply and Rilio. Will that have to be looked at later? I don't know. I don't know if they both just made a mistake on the same corner or if there was actual contact there. I don't know. But Great Ace is keeping up with the Ferrari of Chris. He's going to snipe him going down this hill. Amazing move from Great Ace in the Ferrari. Oh, sorry, not in the Ferrari. In the Aston Martin. Takes the lead of the race from Chris there for a second. But Chris is going to have DRS on him now. Coming up to the straightaway. So he is going to have DRS on Great Ace, though. So he's going to take the lead of the race right back from the Aston Martin. Going up alongside him into turn 1. Going into the corner. Here they go, Pete the Newfie right behind them. The two of them go wheel to wheel. Banging wheels a little bit there, but Great Ace still holding lead of the race. All three of these guys decking it out here tonight. Oh my god, here's Pete now with DRS. Coming up, slides right on by! Great Ace almost takes lead of the race, but Chris also takes advantage of this. But here we go, into the corner, Pete the Newfie and Chris go into the corner. Pete the Newfie now has lead of the race here for the moment. All three of these guys. Slingshot's just waiting in the back to see who fucks up here. But Pete the Newfie takes lead of the race from Great Ace and Chris. We got a whole 4-car scrap going on here. This is absolutely insane here to see at Baku. But we see Smoke has now moved ahead of Druply. He's in 5th, like we said. And he's now closed the gap to the others. It was an 8-second gap. Oh, but now the Ferrari of Chris has messed up. The Ferrari of Chris has messed up. He's now dropped all the way down to 4th. He messed up there in the castle section. He's now dropped down into 4th behind Slingshot in the Alfa Romeo. So now Pete the Newfie has lead of the race with Great Ace in the Aston Martin just behind. Trying to keep the fire burning for his teammate Vodka, who DNF'd earlier. Here we go. Great Ace is going to have DRS on Pete the Newfie here coming down the straightaway. And Chris is going to have DRS on Slingshot as well, so he probably is going to be able to retake the position that he previously lost. But here we go. Great Ace fighting Pete the Newfie for the lead of the race. And he takes it from him due to the DRS there, though Great Ace is almost out of ERS. Pete the Newfie still with 60% in reserve. And Chris in the Ferrari also manages to get by Slingshot there with the DRS as well. So Chris, after his earlier mistake, manages to recover Back up to third. Here we go. Pete the Newfie now has DRS on Great Ace, though, so he's going to snipe lead of the race right back from him, it looks like. Both of these two guys fighting head-to-head here now. These two close friends just duking it out here on the track in rival teams. Crazy stuff, crazy to see. Druply still struggling, still in 6th in the back in the Mercedes, not having a good time. But Chris is now caught back up to the others. Great Ace sliding for a second there, but manages to keep it together. Coming up through the castle. Here we go. Unfortunately, Slingshot has now dropped off the pace of the others a little bit. He's now going to have Smoke just behind him to worry about now. Smoke going to be looking to move himself back up into 4th. Here we go. The top 3 guys right now, Pete, Great Ace, and Chris, all fighting for the win here right now in this first stint. All 3 of them having an awesome stint here on the yellows. And Chris is going to have, both Chris and Great Ace are going to have DRS here. So we'll see what either of them can do. Chris still has 80% of his ERS. He's going to use some to try to get past Great Ace here now. He's going to take this opportunity to try to get past the Aston Martin as soon as DRS opens up. Here he goes. He's going to use some. He's burning off a lot of ERS to try to overtake Great Ace here, and he does successfully. Chris also sets a new fastest lap of the race, a 148.4 on the medium tire. Moves himself up into 2nd. We have a yellow in Sector 2, though. Huge incident there. Slingshot and Smoke. Oh my god, and Slingshot backs up in. Oh, huge. And the Mercedes and Drupally also coming through there at the same time. We were so focused what was going on at the front, completely missed what happened there. What the hell happened there between Slingshot and Smoke going into turn 2? Now, fortunately, Slingshot has moved back up to 4th, but now he's going to have the Mercedes of Drupally on his heels now, after that incident, even though him and Smoke were completely clear from Drupally. But, yeah, what the hell happened there? I completely missed that. Something happened there between Smoke and Slingshot. I wonder if that'll be looked at after the race, if that's worth looking at. But, yeah, not good at all. That's cost Slingshot a lot of time. And it's also cost Smoke a couple positions. Now Smoke has dropped back down to 6th. Slingshot just barely holding his gap over Drupally. Chris, like I said, now in 2nd, just behind Pete the Newfie. Going to be looking to snipe him in the upcoming DRS zone. Oh, but Chris slides a little bit. Hits his rear tire right into the back wall. He's lucky to be alive there. He loses some time to Pete. Still going side by side with Great Ace, though. Into the corner. But if Chris doesn't have damage there, he's very lucky. Because he slid right into the wall, but he's okay. He didn't lose his tire. And he's still looking fast. Very lucky for Chris there that he didn't completely smash his car up there on the wall. He's still going to hold on in 2nd, but Pete the Newfie is now going to hold the lead of the race by 2.8 seconds. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, though. What's going on? Chris takes the lead of the race from Pete the Newfie. Great Ace going side by side with him as well. Huge. Pete the Newfie must have made a mistake there as well. He's now going to drop back into 3rd. Drupally manages to overtake Slingshot, moves up into 4th. Pete going to have another go here at Great Ace here in the DRS zone. Chris retakes lead of the race. Here they go into the corner. Pete now retakes lead of the race though again as Chris messes up as well and has to take the run off. Oh my goodness, so many mistakes here tonight. So many mistakes. Slingshot takes the position back from Drupally. Moves back up into 4th as well. Just to point that out. With 16 laps to go, no one has pit yet. Not even Rilio on the softs. I imagine we'll see him come into the pits here soon. And throw on the mediums or the hards. But wow. Crazy stuff. Big mistakes there from Pete and Chris. Something must have happened to Pete on turn 1. He must have locked up or missed his braking point on turn 1 because that was... Pete had like a 3-second lead there to Chris and Great Ace behind, and he completely lost it, but he's now retaken lead of the race. Him and Great Ace are in 1st and 2nd, 3 seconds ahead of Chris. This is exactly what they need. Great Ace slams into the wall there, though. Oh, I wonder if he took any damage there. He did slam right into the left wall there. He's used up all his ERS. Pete hasn't. Pete still has 47%, but Great Ace has DRS. He's going to look to make the move on Pete the Newfie, going into turn 1. Oh, but he breaks way too late. Great Ace goes completely off track there. Pete the Newfie's going to hold lead of the race. Great Ace is still okay, though. He comes back on track safe and sound, but now he has to worry about Chris, who's just behind. Meanwhile, Druply has just passed up Slingshot in the Alfa Romeo, moved himself back up into 4th, though he's almost completely out of ERS, while Slingshot still has 56%. But here we go. Chris in the Ferrari, coming up side by side into the corner with the Aston Martin of Great Ace. Both of them going through there. Crazy to see. This has just been an action-packed race from start to finish. Both of these guys still going side by side through multiple corners here. Amazing to see. Chris now still going side by side with Great Ace into another corner. These two are just going head to head. Pete got the 3-second lead back here that he had earlier. He got it back once more. No way are they going through Castle. Chris slams into the wall. Chris still tries to go side by side with Great Ace into the Castle, but he ends up slamming damn straight right into the wall. So unfortunately, that's going to allow Druply and Slingshot to catch right up to him. So now, not only does he probably have some front wing damage, but he also has to worry about the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo that aren't too far behind. Crazy to see. But Pete the Newfie, what's going on? Pete the Newfie picks up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Great Ace. And the Ferrari of Chris goes way wide off track once again. Great Ace now has lead of the race. Chris has now made a huge mistake, which is going to allow Pete the Newfie to retake the position. But Pete the Newfie does have a 5-second time penalty now on his record, so that is going to hurt him severely. Going through here now, but now everyone's caught up. Druply and the Mercedes is here now once again. Chris and Pete, though, both dive into the pits to do their pit stop for the race, while Slingshot and Druply are going to continue onwards. Great Ace now has lead of the race by 2 seconds on Druply and Slingshot. Chris and Pete both can come out on the hard tires to finish the race. Rilio still hasn't pit on these softs yet. Amazing stuff, but what happened there? Like, oh my god, there's so much stuff that's happened in this race. Like, what the hell happened there with Pete? Because everything was fine. Pete had like a 3-second lead to Sean. That's the second time Pete has had a 3-second lead to Great Ace and Chris. But now he's lost it once again. And he's, oh, but fortunately, it looks like, if we take a look at penalties, fortunately though, Pete the Newfie has served his time penalty, though. Pete the Newfie has served his time penalty, so he doesn't have to worry about that now, fortunately. But the fact that he even had it in the first place, something must have happened there between him and Great Ace. Pete must have made a mistake, and Great Ace must have been right behind him and hit into him or something. But now Great Ace has lead the race, but Druply and Slingshot are not too far behind. They're soon going to have DRS on him here now. And Pete's going to have to work his best to try to undercut everyone who's ahead of him so that when they all pit, he's in the lead of the race. Same thing with Chris, who's just behind Pete now. The two of them both looking to undercut everyone else. But Druply has also now gotten back in the DRS range of Great Ace. Huge climb for the Mercedes driver. Started at the back at the beginning of the race, and now he's up fighting at the front. Awesome. Awesome to see. But now Chris is going to have DRS on Pete the Newfie on the straightaway here. So it looks like Chris is going to fly right by Pete the Newfie. Chris, super lucky to still even be in the race. He slammed right into the wall in the castle section, and he was still perfectly fine. But now Pete the Newfie is going to have DRS to try to retake the position right back from him once again. But it looks like Chris had a way better exit there, though. But Pete is still hot on his heels, but that's actually crazy that how that worked out. So I think once everyone pits, Pete and Chris are still going to be in best position here. Great Ace still hasn't pit off these yellow tires yet. Neither has Slingshot. While meanwhile, Drupely's been saving so much time on him. Because Great Ace had like a 2-second gap to everyone behind him. And he's still not holding up with Drupely. And he makes a little bit of a mistake there. So Drupely is definitely going to catch Great Ace here now in this DRS zone. Is Great Ace going to pit here? Like, is he going to get off these yellows now? Because if I was Great Ace, I would probably pit now and get off these yellows. Because he's losing so much time to Pete and Chris behind. But Great Ace is a very stubborn person, but he makes the right call. Good stuff to Great Ace. Goes for the pit stop there to get off the yellows. So he can try to undercut Slingshot and Drupely. But unfortunately, at the same time, Great Ace picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That it looks like he's now going to serve. As Chris retakes fastest lap of the race of 146.3. So Great Ace now has that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's going to hurt him come the end of the race. That could cost him potentially a podium here tonight. 5-second speeding in the pit lane. It's not hard. Just brake before you pull into the pits. Slow down. You're better off losing a second than getting a 5-second time penalty. But I guess some of the guys just haven't learned that yet. But now Drupely has lead of the race. Slingshot 2.5 seconds behind. Smoke now, aka Black Stappen, is right there now behind the Alfa Romeo driver of Slingshot. But now Drupely, who's in the lead now, has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he's going to have a time penalty come the end of the race. That's going to cost him as well, along with Great Ace. And unfortunately now, I just noticed Pete the Newfie is now in 6th. Even after Great Ace's pit stop, Great Ace has still come out of the pits ahead of Pete the Newfie. Pete the Newfie must have made another big mistake. Because now Chris is ahead of Great Ace and Pete, and he's only 10 seconds behind everyone else, so when everyone else decides to pit, Chris is going to have the lead of the race. Here we go. Smoke is going to have DRS on Slingshot. He's going to pull ahead of him, but Slingshot is going to dive into the pits now to get off the yellows. But yeah, so Chris, once Smoke and Drupely both pit, Chris is going to have lead of the race by a wide margin here. Look, he's flying on these hard tires right now. 145.1. Oh no, but Chris in the Ferrari has made another huge mistake now. Missed his braking point, or locked up or something. Gone completely off the runoff there once again. And now Great Ace has passed him up, and Pete the Newfie is not too far behind as well. Another huge mistake for the Ferrari driver. He was looking at a pretty amazing undercut there on everyone who's still at the pit. But there we go. Rilio pulls in the pits now. He went super long on those softs, but he did lose a ton of time. Probably should have pit a little earlier. He's coming out on the yellows to finish the race, it looks like, for the final 11 laps or so. Good call. He's going to be on the faster tire. But Pete the Newfie now losing a bit of time, though, to Chris ahead, though, unfortunately. In 5th, Slingshot in 6th. But here we go with Chris now, who's just right behind Great Ace. He's going to have DRS on him now in the next DRS zone. So we'll see how that goes. Is he going to try to pass Great Ace before then? I don't really see the point, because he's going to have... Oh! But he does. Chris goes for the move on Great Ace there down the hill. And he succeeds. But now, here's the thing, though, that he's not thinking about. Now, Great Ace is going to have DRS on him instead. So, we'll see here now in a moment. But Drupely now currently has the lead of the race on Smoke. But Smoke is pitting. So Smoke going for his pit stop now. Drupely still staying out on the hard tires. Maybe he's going for a hard to soft strategy. Here we go. Great Ace has DRS on the Ferrari of Chris. Trying to make a move on him into turn 1. But unfortunately, just not close enough to do it. But he is going to have another DRS zone opportunity here on Chris once again. He's going to have DRS on Chris once again. Smoke comes out of the pits in 5th on the yellows. Just a second ahead of Slingshot. His teammate 5 seconds ahead. But here's the thing. Great Ace and Drupally both still have those time penalties they're going to have on their record at the end of the race. So that is severely going to hurt their podium, their chances of finishing on the podium here. But Great Ace still trying to stay within DRS of Chris, but he still hasn't managed to get by him. Chris going really close to the wall there. Coming up to the castle section. Great Ace taking it really easy, trying to play it safe. But like I said earlier, Chris is super, super lucky to still even be in this race, considering that he slammed right into that wall at the castle section. And didn't lose his tire or nothing. Doesn't seem like he got any damage at all. Might have got a bit of front wing damage. But Great Ace is still going to be within DRS range of him now, coming up here. And the two of these guys are basically fighting for the lead of the race here, because once Drupally pits, they will be in the lead. But like I said, Great Ace does have that 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is severely going to hurt him here. But here he goes. He's going to try to make another move on Chris into turn 1. And it looks like he pulls it off successfully. However, Chris is going to have another DRS zone opportunity coming up shortly. Get past him, or he's just going to get past him there. Great Ace goes a little bit wide there. But there goes Drupally into the pits. He's going to come out on the softs to finish the race, so he is going to have to go 9 laps on those softs for his final stint in the race. But here we go, Great Ace. Keeping up with Chris, which is impressive in and of itself. But yellow flag in Sector 1, Chris has messed up again and been forced to take the runoff in the Ferrari. Huge mistakes for Chris, losing several positions now to even Drupally, and Smoke not too far behind. In the Red Bull, all three of these guys going head to head here into this corner. Absolutely insane stuff. Drupally, after pitting, still in third now with that time penalty. Smoke has managed to catch up. He's caught between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Going to the castle section. Hopefully no one's going for an overtake here into the castle. Doesn't seem like it. But all three of these guys super tight right now. So Great Ace does have lead of the race now. After all the pit stops are said and done, Great Ace does have lead of the race by 3 seconds to Pete the Newfie. However, Great Ace has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So technically, Pete the Newfie has lead of the race now, with Drupally just behind all three of these guys battling it out. This is really going to cost Chris here, because Chris obviously has the pace. We saw him in qualifying. He has the fastest pace, 1-lap pace of everyone here. However, Chris is now going to be getting held up a bit by the Mercedes. And this is going to cost him. This is going to cost him dearly. But especially with now Smoke and the Red Bull going side by side with him. Trying to move up to 4th, trying to get past Chris. Going into turn 1. All three of these guys, but Smoke in the Red Bull spins out on turn 1. Almost hits right into Slingshot in the Alfa Romeo. Fortunately, he doesn't. But now Smoke is going to drop back down into 6th. Unfortunately, he's going to fall out of the fight there. He's just made too many mistakes here tonight, I'm afraid. But yeah, finally everyone's a little spaced out now. I can finally calm down. Oh my god. It's been a crazy race so far tonight. We're getting down to the final 8 laps here, but yeah, very unfortunate for Smoke, aka Black Stappen, in the Red Bull. He's just lost. He's made several mistakes here tonight, and that one there might cost him. Might cost him some positions, because that looked really rough. Chris now getting away from Slingshot now as well. A second half behind Drupally, trying to catch back up to the Mercedes to get past him. But Great Ace is pulling, even though he has a 5-second time penalty, he is pulling time on Pete the Newfie behind, as Great Ace is on the fresher tires. He's going to be on the fresher hard tires going into the end of the race. This is still going to be a good opportunity for Great Ace to fight for the win here. And Drupally on the softs is on the fastest tire out of everyone for this final stint. So he might be able to hold up Chris in the Ferrari, as Chris has also made several mistakes here tonight. Honestly, other than that speeding in the pit lane penalty, the person who's made the least amount of mistakes here tonight is Great Ace, but he is losing time now to Pete the Newfie. And all Pete the Newfie has to do is stay within 5 seconds of Great Ace to win this race, to come out on top. With Smoke now on the faster tires, on the yellow, has caught back up the slingshot once again. Going to try to overtake Sling coming up to this DRS zone and move back up into 5th. So he can try to push to catch up to the others once again. Like I said, he's made several mistakes here in this Red Bull tonight. He was fighting for the lead of the race earlier with Chris, and he fell back. So at this point, I think he just wants to finish the race. It's been a rough race for him, but he's shown moments of brilliance. It's just still rough at points too. But now Drupally on the fastest tire, on the softs, has now caught up to Pete the Newfie. So this could potentially hold Pete the Newfie up from gaining on Great Ace, because he's going to have to worry about Drupally and Chris, who are just behind him, fighting him for the podium. So this is exactly what Great Ace wants. Great Ace now pulling the 5-second gap on Pete the Newfie with 6-7 laps to go of the race. This is going to be a fight for the podium here. Amazing recovery from Drupally, who started all the way at the back. But he is going to have that time penalty, though, so that could cost Drupally the podium here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Chris is going to be right behind him. He is on the slower tires. He is on the hards. But he is going to have DRS here, it looks like, maybe? Unless Drupally keeps him out of it. But Drupally is using that ERS now. He is going to fly by Pete the Newfie with DRS as well. They're both going side by side up into turn 1. Here they go into turn 1. Drupally completely out of ERS. He takes the position away from Pete the Newfie. But again, he still has that time penalty that is going to hurt him come the end of the race. We'll see here now, though. Pete the Newfie is now going to have DRS on Drupally. He is keeping Chris still out of his DRS, though. So he doesn't have to worry about it just yet. But meanwhile, Drupally's on these softs, trying to keep Pete out of his DRS. So Drupally's only hope is that his softs won't be too shot by the end of the race here. Because he is pulling time on Great Ace. As you can see here now, Drupally is less than 3 seconds away from Great Ace. But like I said, Drupally has that time penalty as well. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a nail-biter for the win here. Chris going for the move on Pete the Newfie. Pete the Newfie makes a mistake there, goes wide coming up the hill. So Pete the Newfie loses the position to Chris, falls back to 4th, and is now 2.5 seconds behind him. But we have a yellow flag in Sector 2. Smoke in the Red Bull has lost it once again. What is he doing tonight? Oh my goodness, he's spun and lost it so many times. He's so lucky he hasn't hit any walls yet. But now he is 10 seconds behind Slingshot ahead. So that's going to be it for Smoke. At this point, Smoke just wants to finish the race. At least finish the race in 6th. Absolutely crazy, but come on, you got to at least finish the race. He's not even on worn tires or anything yet. He's on 4-lap old mediums. No excuse here, but Smoke's been having it rough on these yellows. These yellows have just not been cooperating with him here at all. He's having a rough time. 5 laps to go. At this point, if I was Smoke, I'd just be trying to finish the race. But like I said, Pete the Newfie made a big mistake coming up the hill there. Lost the position, the podium position to Chris. Chris now sitting in 3rd, 2.5 seconds behind Drupally. Like I said, Drupally does have a 3-second time penalty. So if Chris can keep it within, and the two of them are still within 3.9. They're still within like 5 seconds of Great Ace. So that's the thing. Chris is trying to keep within a 5-second time of Great Ace so that he can win the race. But at the same time, Drupally is trying to keep 3 seconds trying to keep his own penalty gaps with Great Ace as well. Because we check here, I believe I got the penalties right. Yes, Great Ace has 5 seconds of penalties. Druply has 3 seconds. So if Druply wants to win the race, all he has to do is finish 2 seconds ahead. He has to be, his gap to Great Ace has to be at least 2 seconds if he wants to win the race. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, that speeding in the pit lane penalty is going to come back to bite Great Ace. Great Ace could have had the win here tonight. Like, Great Ace would be solidly in the win right now. He would have a 1.5 gap to Druply behind if it wasn't for that speeding in the pit lane penalty. I don't even understand how he got it. Like, it's not hard. You have so much time to slow down on this track before you go into the pits at Baku. And it's worth it. Like, you don't even lose that much time either if you slow down in time. So I don't know what happened to Great Ace there. He's definitely going to be beating himself up over that after the race. He's definitely going to be thinking about what could have been, you know? If he can't keep this gap to Druply, he's definitely going to be, this 2-second gap to Druply, he's definitely going to be thinking about, like, what could have been. But Great Ace's best hope right now is that Druply's softs are going to die off. If that's going to be Great Ace's one and only hope, is that Druply's soft tires die off here on these last couple laps, and Great Ace is able to just pull the gap on the hards. But at the moment, Druply's still saving time on him. Got it down to 1.4 seconds now. Fighting all 3 of these guys, fighting for the win here right at the moment. It's all about the gaps. But Druply now almost within DRS of the Aston Martin ahead. And if Druply can get, you know, he definitely doesn't even need to get past Great Ace. As long as he's within 2 seconds of Great Ace and he's 3 seconds ahead of Chris, he will win the race. So, like I said, it's going to come down to these few penalties here. Like, this is so confusing. Baku is not a track you normally think of when you think of time penalties and such. So the fact that Druply and Great Ace even have penalties here to begin with is so strange. This is so weird. But at the same time, and they're definitely going to be beating themselves up over that, 2 of them, but at the same time, Chris is so lucky to even be still in the race to begin with. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 2, though. It looks like Smoke and the Red Bull has lost control of his car again. Like, what is going on with this dude? He's lost so much time now. At this point, like I said, there's no hope of him gaining any more positions. He just needs to finish the race. But he's just all over the place tonight. Like, oh my goodness. He had great pace. He outqualified his teammate. But he's just been stinking on these yellows. He's done absolutely nothing on them. But Great Ace still holding the lead to Druply. Still trying to get it up to 2 seconds. That's all he needs. He just when they cross the line, he needs to have a 2-second gap. He has a couple more laps to do it. If you're Great Ace at this point, you just have to hope that Druply makes a mistake. If Druply makes one mistake, this race is Great Ace's for the taking. Unless, of course, Chris is within range, then it's going to be Chris's win. So, like I said, it's all between the 3 of these guys. What's happened here? What's going on? Okay, so Smoke is now deciding to pit again to get off these yellows. Because, like I said, these yellows are just not cooperating for him at all. They're just not working out for him at all. Yellow flag in Sector 2 now. Chris has made a huge mistake. He's gone off. He had to take the runoff there at the castle section. So he's now lost the podium position to Pete the Newfie. And even the possible chance for the win tonight, it looks like. Another huge mistake from Chris in the Ferrari, who has less ERS than Pete the Newfie as well. Like I said, Smoke in the Red Bull has now just pitted for softs. I guess to potentially try to go for the fastest lap point, to try to gain that for his team at the very least, because he's still holding 6th position over Aurelio. So now it's going to be Chris. It looks like it's going to be Chris and Pete the Newfie here now, duking it out for that final podium position here. It's looking pretty convincingly like it's Great Ace and Druply fighting for the win here. But Smoke has now gone off track again on these softs. Like, what is going on? Like he needs to just finish the race at this point. Like, what is he doing? He's making a mockery of himself. Like, just finish the race. Oh my god. Crazy stuff. But here we go. Chris now is putting the pressure on Pete the Newfie. He's still fighting with him. He at least wants to finish on the podium tonight. At the very least. Unfortunately, it looks like Chris is out of contention for the win tonight, as him and Pete are now 12 seconds behind Druply and Great Ace, but he now has DRS on Pete the Newfie. He's going to fight him going into this corner at the end of the DRS zone. And he pulls ahead of him there. Pete almost losing his rear end there. Barely kept it together. But the two of these guys are going to be fighting for the podium here now. Druply is also now within a second of Great Ace. He sniffs. Druply is sniffing the win here tonight. He can feel it. He can feel the win. He really wants to have it tonight on these softs. On these 7-lap-old softs. He has to go another couple laps on them successfully if he wants to win the race. But at the same time, Pete is fighting for that podium position with Chris, but he is losing some time to him now, unfortunately. But Smoke can't afford any more mistakes, or he's going to lose that 6th position to Rilio. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he is. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Chris in the Ferrari has made another huge mistake. He's gone off into another run, had been forced to take another run off, or he would have DNF'd there. So that's going to be it for Chris. He's now 6.5 seconds behind Pete. So that's looking like if Pete can just keep it together for these final 2 laps, Pete the Newfie will at the very least finish on the podium ahead of Chris. Crazy enough to say. Like, that is absolutely wild. Chris was looking so much faster than everyone here tonight in qualifying. Started on pole position, and now it's looking like he's not even going to finish on the podium because he's just made way too many mistakes. But now Druply has managed to close the gap to Great Ace. They're lapping Rilio in the Ferrari there, but Rilio is getting between Druply there. Coming in the corner, Great Ace is able to get by. Now Druply's going to have to get by. Coming up to the almost at the final lap of the race here now, but Druply is eagerly fighting with Great Ace. He just needs to get that 2-second, keep that 2-second gap to Great Ace in order to win the race. But like I said, Great Ace is definitely going to be kicking himself. A second position, especially after his teammate DNF'd, is still nothing to scoff at. He's keeping it up for Aston Martin. He's had an amazing race so far, but he's going to be kicking himself over what could have happened, because this could have been a win for Great Ace tonight if he hadn't got that speeding in the pit lane penalty. And I don't understand, like, there's no need for the speeding in the pit lane penalties. Just slow down in time. If you lose a second or two, it's better than you're losing some time, but you're still not losing as much time as if you got a 5-second time penalty. So it is a bit disappointing to see that for the Aston Martin driver, that he made such a careless newbie mistake. But that's all you can do. We're going into the final lap of the race here now. Druply still within 1.4 seconds of Great Ace. Not enough to give him DRS, but he's still trying to keep up with Great Ace going into this final lap. And this is going to decide who wins the race between these two guys. Pete now convincingly holding that final podium position over Chris after that last mistake Chris made. And we'll see here now. Yellow flag in Sector 3. What's happened? Slingshot and Chris out of the race. What happened there on the final lap? Was there an incident between the Ferrari? Did the Ferrari lose it and the Alfa Romeo hit into him? Oh my goodness. What happened? Slingshot was just doing his thing, had a pretty normal race, and now him and Chris are out on the final lap. What happened? What the hell happened there? My guess is that Chris lost it there in the final sector, and Slingshot wasn't able to react in time and hit right into him. So unfortunately, it looks like Slingshot and Chris are out of the race on the final lap. My goodness. So that is going to be no points for Chris tonight. No points for Slingshot. My goodness, what a terrible turn of events. So unfortunate for Slingshot. Oh, he just got caught up in incidents tonight. He got caught up in the incident with Smoke earlier, and he just got caught up in that incident with Chris, and it cost him dearly. It cost him a lot of points. He could have at least finished in 5th. Or maybe even 4th if he got past Chris that time. So yeah, that is really unfortunate for Slingshot. Like, my goodness. So that means that that's crazy. That means that it's going to be no points for Ferrari from Chris, but Rilio is going to finish in 5th, and Smoke is going to finish in 4th. It's going to be a 3rd, 4th for Red Bull. And here they go fighting up to the line. That means that due to Great Ace's 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Drupally Bunyan in the Mercedes is your winner tonight. Beats Great Ace just out on that penalty alone. My goodness, Great Ace is going to be kicking himself over that, over the win he could have had. But your podium tonight is going to be Drupally, Great Ace, and Pete the Newfie, with Smoke and Rilio finishing 4th and 5th. It should have only been one DNF tonight. Vodka Victory DNFing on the first lap, causing that lap 1 safety car. That should have been the only DNF tonight, but unfortunately there was that incident there on going into the final lap between Chris and Slingshot, and all I can guess is that Chris spun on that final corner and Slingshot slammed right into him and took both of them out. That is absolutely tragic. That is terrible to see. Person who started pole didn't even finish the race. My goodness, made so many mistakes tonight and unfortunately ruined Slingshot's race. But that's going to be it. 5 drivers cross the finish line. It's going to be great points for Red Bull in the Constructors. And fortunately, even though his teammate DNF, Great Ace is still going to get solid points for Aston Martin and move himself up in the standings. So still a great performance from Great Ace. Didn't really make any huge mistakes tonight at all. Amazing drive from him. Other than that speeding in the pit lane penalty, he would have had the win. He 100% would have had the win. He 100% would have had the win if it wasn't for that speeding in the pit lane penalty. But good stuff to Drupally for the win here tonight at Baku. The game gives driver of the day to Great Ace. Yeah, I mean, other than the speeding in the pit lane penalty, he didn't make any huge mistakes. But Drupally Bunyan's going to take the win. Drupally Bunyan, last to first tonight, started in 8th, finished in 1st. Amazing stuff to him. A last to first for Drupally. Definitely a race that people are going to be talking about for a long time. But good stuff. So before we cue things up tonight, before we end things off, we're going to get Drupally, Great Ace, and Pete the Newfie in the party for a quick post-race podium interview. Get the guys in here.
What's up, boys?
Audio's included.
Hello. Hello, hello. Alrighty. Absolutely crazy race, guys. My throat is shot. I haven't stopped talking the whole race. There's just been one thing after another. That was absolute insanity. That might have been the best race I've ever commentated in my life. But we'll start off there now. Somehow, that was crazy. So can you guys explain to me? So I don't know if any of you saw it, but did Chris lose it on the final corner there, and Slingshot got caught up in it? Is that why?
I don't know.
Because that was so unfortunate. Because Slingshot was caught up in 2 incidents that race. He was caught up in an incident with
Smoke,
Chris there at the end, and Smoke earlier. So Slingshot was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, that sucks.
In that race, that sucks. But regardless, we're gonna start talking Great Ace, because honestly, man, you deserve the win tonight, but you're a fucking idiot for getting a speeding in the pit lane penalty.
Yeah, dude.
So
it was insanity. I was just on fire, and I was trying to flip through to make sure I was going to go on the hards and not the softs or something stupid, and I was flipping between the menus, and I hit the brakes and it locked up, and I just slid through, and I'm like, oh, no way. But it is what it is.
Is what it's still a second, you know, that's still great considering what happened to your teammate. You've still put solid points on the board for Aston Martin, keeping yourselves in the fight. So if I was Vodka, I'd be really happy to have you as a teammate. You know, definitely showing that you can go toe to toe and keep up, and you know, you're a great asset to the team. You know,
thanks, buddy. I was really worried about tonight because I couldn't get a grip on the track tonight. but it seemed like everybody tonight in the actual race, like the practice we had and the couple of qualies we did, wasn't too bad. But the race, everybody seemed to struggle a lot more. So I think, fortunate that way. But yeah, that was insanity. My arms are just shaking right now, like getting stuff vibrating. But yeah, what a race! Great wheel to wheel with the boys, man. Lots of respect. I don't know what happened to Vodka. He was in front of me, and then I just saw the fiberglass everywhere, or the carbon fiber. And
yeah, I think he lost it on that final corner coming onto the straightaway. I think he must have lost it there.
He was on hards, wasn't he?
I think so. Maybe his tires were cold or something.
Yeah, I think he was on the hards and maybe lost it because of the cold tires. Because that was lap 1, wasn't it?
Yep.
Maybe we'll blame Pete for not turning on formation lap. But
oh well.
But regardless, Drooply, man, I bet you went from last to first, man. Like, that is amazing. What a drive from you. What a drive from you too, man.
Congrats, man. Yeah,
that
man,
was unbelievable.
It was crazy. Stay safe top night. Like, at first, like, the smoke was so bad going into the corners, I couldn't even see the corners. Like, when I was in the back of the first few laps, like, I just hung back because I literally could not even see what was on the other side of the turns. And then once I got around Rallo or whatever, I walked up and had to go to the runoff and freaking done a nice little donut. Thankfully, I had enough room to do it. And got back going, and from there, I was trying to ride those hards out until a safety car came out, hoping that would happen, but it never did. So I pitted. Like, I went in and took the softs because I knew I was a lot faster on those and how long they would last. And then after I called up to grade Ace, I had 0.03 laps of fuel left, so I just hung up in the penalty and conserved fuel. I think I finished with like 0.08 laps of fuel.
I screwed up in the safety car because I left it on lean the whole time, so I ended up starting, like, when we went green, like 2 laps over already, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, man, I had mine on standard under the safety car because I had so much fuel in the car, I didn't even think it'd be an issue. Like, under the safety car, I had like 2 laps of extra fuel, and I didn't even notice it until right there towards the end. Once I caught up to you, I was just, like, went to adjust my brake bias, looked down and said I had 0.02 laps of fuel, and I was like, well, motherfucker.
But Droop, that was honestly amazing, though, your management there of those softs, especially at the end, because I thought your softs might...
Yeah. They still had plenty of grip left too. Like, I never had an issue with those softs at the end. I was shocked. I was waiting for them to fall off, but like, I just never had an issue with them. They had grip the whole way through.
But good stuff, man. But
yeah, congratulations, everybody. Great Ace, a good drive, man.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm conserving fuel and everything.
You stole the win from him.
Like, yeah, I was gonna wait till the last lap and like try to get you on the straight there, so it's like conserving up the DRS and everything. But either way, it wasn't like I was relaxed. Like, I was driving. You had pace, man.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
And then lastly, obviously, we got to talk to Pete. Fortunately, Chris made a mistake there at the end. You were able to snipe the podium away from him. How'd that feel tonight, man? I saw you locked up or something a couple times. Like, you got lucky that you didn't hit any walls. You kind of just like made a couple mistakes here or there.
Yeah, it was all over the place tonight, man. That track is so fucking tough, man.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
It's literally driving on ice, man. Driving on ice. You're locking up everywhere, and the smoke. Like, you can't see anything for that Minecraft smoke, man. It's absolutely brutal, man.
It was hell, man. At the start, it was hell.
Oh my god, it's horrible. But yeah, like, if that gets looked at, man, that little spin on that curb, I tried to spin the car around, but it didn't work, and I ended up hitting Sean. Thank God you did not get DNF'd.
Oh yeah, dude, I slammed it on him like,
man, I'll take a penalty.
I don't have an issue with it, Pete. Whatever, buddy. It's just shitty spinning, buddy. No worries. That's just a racing incident.
Yeah,
I tried to stop, not hit you.
If there's anyone to be sad tonight, it's Slingshot, because he should have had a 4th place finish here tonight, but he got caught up in the...
Me and him had whatever battles, man. He has a little
that was the most... I don't know, man. Like, Canada and Baku, the wheel-to-wheel action in those 2 races is probably the most fun I've ever had on the game, man. Like, the wheel-to-wheel night with you, Sean, was incredible. Like,
I didn't even get to have wheel-to-wheel tonight.
The battle at the fucking beginning, man. The 3 wide, man.
It was intense.
3 wide, I lost one. 3 wide at Baku, yeah.
It was insanity, man.
Yeah. You guys just split me. I didn't have a chance. You 2 went either side. I couldn't move anywhere, so I'm like, well, there they go.
See what happens when Max Verstappen isn't racing, man? It's so much fun, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's what once again, due to his DNF, Vodka misses out on all the fun battles, just like he did last week at Canada. But it just shows that pace isn't everything, because Chris had pole by a mile, but in the race he made like 4 or 5 mistakes, and it cost him dearly.
I'm surprised he didn't DNF when he hit the. I'm surprised he didn't DNF
in the castle.
In the castle when he hit that wall straight on. All I saw was carbon fiber explode everywhere.
And him and
He said I'm stupid too.
Braked way too. Like they were both behind me, and I guess one of them was going for an overtake. And like I was over a second ahead, and they braked so late into turn 1, they both almost rear-ended me, and they just went straight through turn 1.
But Pete, it works out for you with Smoke and the constructors though, because somehow your man, even though he himself also made several mistakes tonight, somehow he still finished 4th.
Did he really?
Did.
Good on him. Holy shit! Yeah.
Yes, let's go. Let's go, Red Bull. I don't like saying that, but yeah, let's go.
We're trying to keep the Aston Martins in.
I hate that Vodka got took out, but that
was
helped
crazy.
Me make
that was so fun
from the Texas race.
It was so fun.
Out.
Well done, Vodka.
Well done, Drupally. Though, like man, after, like I said, after all the bad luck you've had, that was wicked to see, man.
There was a couple moments at the start where the car, like, kind of in quality, how it just wouldn't stop. Like, I touched the brakes, and the second I touched the brake, it just locked up. But after that, man, I just found a little rhythm and dodged everybody.
I just have one last question before we end off the stream, guys. So, technically, in the final scoreboard, right, it says Chris had the fastest lap, but he DNF'd. So, how does that work? Like, did he still steal the fastest lap?
He doesn't get it, no.
No, he doesn't get it.
The next
yeah, you gotta finish the race.
So the next fastest lap.
There's no fastest lap.
No, there's no fastest lap point. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no fastest lap point. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta finish the race.
One too.
Okay, well, that's awesome, guys. We're gonna end things off here now. But if you're watching the stream, thank you for watching. We're gonna be back same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday night. We race no assists. If you want to join up, hit up me, Sidonia Muse, or Pete the Newfie on Discord or Xbox Live. If you want to invite to the league, like I said, no assists every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week is a 4th race of our season at Barcelona, and that is also going to be the first sprint race of our season. So looking forward to that. And
racing tonight, boys. I'm gonna have to go watch the stream because y'all had more fun than I did.
Congrats, boys.
Congrats.
Yeah, good stuff, guys.
Oh yeah.
And
take care.
Yeah, cheers.